We're the Dillinger Escape Plan.
You're watching
Chaos TV.
Gentlemen, first of all, welcome to Poland once again. This is not your first opportunity, your first visit in Poland. So obviously my first question is, what inspires you to come back? Because it's obviously not our famous sandy beaches and stuff. So it really puzzles me because it's fucking cold.
I think we wanted to come back to this venue in particular to see if it truly is the hottest venue in Dillinger history, because that's the last time we were here. Now it's the coldest, yeah.
Yeah, but it will change in a couple of hours when you start playing.
Yeah, we actually played in this venue with Meshuggah some years back, and it was so hot on stage. It was literally the hottest show we've ever played, but the crowd was so wild. Like, we couldn't believe. It made us have energy, even as hot as it was on stage. We're like, if these fans are this crazy and this energetic, then we've got to at least be able to match that.
I'm really glad to hear it because we really enjoy fucked up music.
Poland, Poland is one of those places that surprises us and a lot of bands, because you think that people are going to be more passive and it's not going to be as energetic because, you know, not a lot of foreign music comes through here as often, but it's actually the opposite because of that. It seems like people are very appreciative and very excited, and we've really had a good time here.
Great,
for sure.
I hope that this visit will be also as fruitful as the previous one. So, if you don't have anything against, I will start with some past of your history. So, I would start with a question about your cooperation with Mike Patton, which is for many fans in Poland a very intriguing thing. My question is about the general concept behind the album, because at least for me, when I'm listening to it, it sounds like a complete idea, somewhat like a concept album with this distinct post-50s feel. So my question is, was it a conscious artistic decision to go in this way, or was it rather something that happened dynamically during the works?
Yeah, well, I think that the music was pretty much all written ahead of time before Mike was involved. And we wrote the songs all at the same time, so that definitely had to do with the vibe of the record. And I definitely feel that just, you know, we were artistically on the same page as Mike at the time. We had toured with Mr. Bungle not too long before.
I understand that this was the inspiration behind your cooperation.
Yeah, we talked and realized that it would make sense, but we were kind of coming from the same place creatively, and it would be really interesting to work together. We obviously were huge fans of Mike Patton growing up. It was a huge influence on us, so that was a no-brainer for us. But it was one of those things that just worked out timing-wise, and we gave him the music, and he worked on all the vocals, and then
I've seen on the documentary that there were different versions to choose from, like when it comes to vocals, for example.
Yeah, so we kind of worked on things separately, but then came together and finished it together, and came all together. So it was really just a collaborative effort, and it was really, I think the fact that we wrote the music all at one time, we were all kind of on the same page of where we wanted to go, and the fact that I think that we did end up together in the studio finishing the final product, which gave it an overall vibe. But we didn't really have a concept in mind, no. We just were writing the music we felt like writing at the time.
But the end effect is really stunning, guys. I mean, this is one of my favorite albums ever, just for the record. But since we are already talking about vocals, I would have a question to Greg, which goes quite naturally. The question is, because you are, if my informations are correct, you were born in the 1980.
Right.
So we are pretty much from the same year.
I think we have the same mother, probably, actually, too.
It can be it, but the father was never known. God damn it. I know
it.
this problem. I get this a lot, you know? So my question is, because you are known for collaborations. Nine Inch Nails, which was really impressive. Deftones, many others. So my question is, how does it feel to perform on the same stage with people that you had, you know, posters of in the teenage years?
You know what? It really didn't hit me until fairly recently, you know, because when everything happens so gradually, you know, that when you're doing it, you're kind of already mentally prepared to take the next step by the time the step is there for you. You know, if you like look at the top of a giant, look at a staircase, you see the top and you're like, man, that's far, but by the time you get to the top step, it's like little bit at a time, you know. It was only recently that I really was like, it hit me when I was writing with Max Cavalera. Actually, we were sitting on a couch side by side, and we had a notepad, and we were like so writing lyrics and scratching things out and whatnot. And for a second, it was just like, wow, this is kind of insane, you know. And it's only been over the last couple years that there's been a few things that have really seemed to happen where like people that were kind of huge to me, whether it's like the Deftones or Nine Inch Nails or Max Cavalera or people like that, have kind of almost given me like the nod, like you're one of us type of thing, like we awesome. Want to do something with you. So it's been really a big deal to me, and makes me want to continue to try to go further and further and do more and more, because I feel like I can't let those people down in a way, and their fans, if they're going to turn all their fan base on to us through me, that's something that is a big honor, and it makes me want to be like, I can't let them down, so yeah. Still pretty young people. We just started really young, but it seems like depending on the scene you are, depends on whether you're old. Like in a metal scene, we're young because metal is a much older world, you know, but in hardcore, we're a little older now, you know what I mean? Like we've been around for a while. We're like bands like us and Converge are like, seen as like kind of like elders of the scene now, but still in like a metal context, metal's so much older. Like a lot of bands that are, I mean, I still think of the Deftones as like a pretty young band, but those guys are almost 40 now.
I know.
So it's really tough to put it into context, so I don't know.
Especially because, I mean, we always, as we were rounding the 30 mark, I think all of us were saying like how I never felt better. I never felt more energetic. I never felt more comfortable, and like just, I really feel like everything that we've been working towards now is like finally at our disposal, like playing wise and just, just the ideas even. It just all just seems,
exactly.
Not that anything gets easier, but your attitude about it changes, and then it seems to flow more.
Of course, and also all the experience you have gathered during the time.
It doesn't feel like it's wearing us down so much as like, building us up.
I think another interesting thing was doing the Warped Tour this year, which is primarily filled with bands that are in their younger 20s, and the people that go there are generally much younger than that. And being around those bands, I don't know if it was really consciously that we alienated ourselves, sort of made up our own little camp of bands like Every Time I Die and Alkaline Trio and stuff, like older dudes.
I understand, but I think this goes kind of natural, You
but the vibe that we were getting from a lot of the younger bands was like, those are the older guys who have been places and done things that we can't even really dream about yet. So it was kind of like, it sucks that we feel like maybe we're a little bit older, but it's also like we get respect because of it, because of the things that we've done.
Obviously, I mean, it would be difficult to not respect a band with such possibilities and such experience.
It seems like it's more about experience than age, or like how much you accomplish in a certain amount of time.
There is even an old Polish saying which goes exactly like what you have said, that it's not about age, it's basically about experience and about the shit you go through.
That's what I say to my young girlfriend. It's not about being older, it's about the experience.
And attitude.
And attitude.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this explains my question. We can move to another one.
All right. Yes, we completed level 2.
Great, we can move forward now. Awesome. So my next question is about the Miss Machine album, because the videos that were recorded for that album were all, once again, if my information is correct, but I think it is, were directed by Josh Graham from Neurosis.
Two.
Okay, so my information was not correct then.
You do not pass level 3.
God damn it! And I was trying so hard. Tell me, are you planning to work with Mr. Graham again, or
maybe? I don't know if he's really doing a lot of video production these days. He's been doing a lot of his music. He's done a lot of bands over the past few years, and he seems to be focusing. I don't know. I mean, we first got to know him through his work with Neurosis, doing the live visuals.
Yeah.
Then we saw some of his video work and stuff like that, and decided it would be cool to collaborate in that way at least. And then he started doing music, and we even played with some of his bands. We toured, did some shows with some of his bands, so we've collaborated with him in some artistic way many times. But yeah, he hasn't been doing a lot of video stuff. He's been doing more music. So you never know. Maybe we will.
Right. So we will be definitely looking forward for your next cooperation with Mr. Graham. Okay, what's next? Your covers. You are known for making really insane, really awesome covers. For example, your version of Paranoid is absolutely stunning. I mean, all those insane things that are happening the further you go into the songs are really impressive. But what I wanted to ask you about is the EP album plagiarism, obviously. First of all, why this exact music? Because it's very wide range. It's
well, initially a lot of people talked to us, you know, questioned why we even did the EP, and we're surprised that we didn't vary from the original songs that much.
Yeah,
a lot of what we did
was really
were pretty similar, and some people liked that and some people didn't like that. But the truth was, we were really just doing that for fun. We had some time in between tours. We were kind of recording it on our own, you know, and just having some fun. It was an opportunity for Greg to do a little more singing and stuff like that, and use his voice in a different way than he had been really using it.
Massive Attack interpretation was really
yeah,
awesome.
it was a cool opportunity just for us to have some fun and just throw it out there. If somebody wanted it, they wanted it. We weren't really looking at it as a serious creative outlet as far as like writing music or trying to, you know, Dillingerize other songs. It was just really music that we liked, and we wanted to show our fans that we do have a diverse range of influences, and we like music. You know, there's no such thing as a guilty pleasure. There's a saying we have, a guilty pleasure, like, oh, I like this, but I'm embarrassed that I like it.
Yeah,
to us, there's no such thing as a guilty pleasure. If it's good, if you like it, you like it, you know.
All right.
So
and
it's really just to represent
and
that.
tell me, did you get any feedback from the artists that you've been covering? Like, I don't know, Justin Timberlake, for example?
No, we hadn't.
Yeah, Nine Inch Nails, but
Actually-
I'm not asking about this because you were actually cooperating with Nine Inch Nails, so I understand that
Yeah,
they had
well,
to
the
be
Nine Inch
impressed with
Nails,
you.
the Nine Inch Nails thing, we hadn't really done anything with Trent or Nine Inch Nails. We just did the cover because we enjoyed the music, and then when he heard it, then that's when he asked us to come perform with him on stage or stuff like that.
All
So
right.
that was pretty much the greatest feedback you could have. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I love, you know, why don't you actually come on stage and play this song with us? You know, so
Yeah,
that was
it was Nine Inch Nails' last tour ever,
right. So that was some pretty good feedback. But as far as we didn't really get feedback from anyone else. Like Aphex, a lot of people we had covered Aphex Twin in the past on the
Yeah,
Black Band.
it was
a lot of people
insane.
You know, would probably assume that we had talked to Aphex or you know or got some feedback, and we never heard anything from his camp at all.
That's kind of weird, actually. I mean, you know, if one big artist makes something connected to another big artist, then why this other guy doesn't even find necessary to say
We don't
something?
talk to a lot of people.
You're more alienated.
Yeah, we don't really.
He doesn't talk to a lot of people. I think Richard D. James doesn't talk to anybody. I don't think it's really our doing. I'd answer the phone if he called, you know. So I don't.